All right, hello everybody. I've got the limited event from the first Explorer series. This was Mythic Forge Gaming. It was 4 packs of AL, 2 packs of Beta, and I have 3 games, 2 of my games, and the finals game. I'll have timestamps in the description, but this is the first of the Explorer series. The next one is going to be this Sunday, this April 5th. It's going to be at Relic Worley Gaming. I'll have a link to the event in the description as well. It's going to be really exciting. I'm pretty sure it's 2 packs of beta and an AL of draft. I'll try to record myself drafting and go over it at some other point in the future. But here I wanted to talk about how I go through sealed in this AL beta mix. Personally, I like to rip open all the packs at once and just kind of thumb through them real quick to see if there's any like big cards that I notice right away. When opening my packs, I got a Great Famine. I was like, okay, so I'm looking for fire stuff to support that double fire threshold. And here I'm going through the stack of cards, just pulling out cards I know are good and cards that I know are bad. So like the fairy knot, the ring that lets things not take damage by 4/4s. Maybe that's good because there's a lot of 4/4s running around, but I know when I've tried to play it in the past, having equipment is just rough. The only other thing I would play equipment wise would be Sword and Shield, but I didn't get any Sword and Shields. And then I'm also pulling out cards that I think are pretty good and putting them in minion and spell order. I'm looking at 4/4s. I'm looking at solid 3/3s like Band of Thieves. You also need some 2 mana stuff just to fill out the curve. So like 1 or 2 families can be good. And if you give them a lance, like they can kill a 3/3 profitably. So they can be playable if you just need minions. And a lot of limited, I feel, is just on the board threats. Play a minion every single turn. Have 1 or 2 removal spells that you can play out through the game, and then trade profitably throughout it. I don't like duel. I took out squeakers in draft. I've heard it can be pretty good. You want to play all the sites you can play that are not basic sites, just because it's just more value. They're just better. I got a Diluvian Kraken in one of my beta packs, and I was like, this thing is a bomb. The problem is I have no ramp, and getting to 8 mana in a sealed or limited event without like losing too much on tempo and like aggression is really rough. I ended up cutting Diluvian Kraken after my second game because I had it in both first and second games, and it was just like I can't get to 8 mana and not die. My overall record was I lost my first game to a rules a rules mess up on my and my opponent's responsibility. We both just messed up and it's whatever. And then my second loss was against Brandon Posey, and we played the Golden Harp as it reduces damage by 2, not reduces damage to 2. So that was a little like just those were my only losses, but paying attention to the rules is very important. So I ended up going 4-2, yeah, 4-2, and getting 3rd overall. So I was pretty happy with that. And so here, after I've gone through all my cards and like looking at what I think is pretty good, mostly minions, 3/3s, 4/4s are your core of your deck, and then with some removal spells. I also, you can play 3 color, but your first and second, or your second and third colors can only be 1 threshold each. If you really want to go 3 color, I would honestly suggest more of a 2 color, just for threshold issues. If you have like some dual lands, if in some beta you can make it work, it's pretty good. So you can, now I'm laying out cards just by mana and spells, or minions versus non-minion cards, like artifacts, auras, are all in the bottom row. So you can see there I have three siege giants, and I was like, that seems pretty good. Pukas also in limited, and especially in constructed, when Sorcerer and Magoo and Death Speaker aren't around, Pukas feels really good. It's this annoying 2/2 they have to deal with, and then they spend a card to get rid of it, and then they have to get rid of another card. It's just really strong. Vikings is another 4/4, and that tap ability can be really punishing. And Pirate or Ghost Ship is just my big bomb at the top end. I think 6 is kind of where you can cut off, unless you have some kind of ramp or something to get past that. Burning Hands is also a huge limited card. The positional alignment you can have with this is really strong. It also can cause a lot of blowouts. If I rebuilt this deck again, I think Reckless Squire would go in over Dueling Kraken, just because that Lance is huge. Limited is like trading profitably, and how do you trade profitably? Lance allows you to do that. It's 3 mana and remove a thing. Kind of like Reckless Squire or Weightless Squire. Weightless Squire is the same thing. 3 mana, 1/1 that gives you a Lance. Things getting Lances are very, very strong. Stronger than you expect. It's just like, if you can give something a Lance, like on a 4/4, you can kill a 5/5 for free, quote unquote, almost free, or you can trade your you don't even have to trade your 3/3s into their 4/4s. You get to kill that thing, and you still get a minion on board. So these are like how you win limited games, is you value trade more than your opponent, and then you just have like, I have 2 minions on board, and now you have 1, and you can kind of win with the snowball. So kind of on that same note, I have Lake of Fank in here. That lethal is great for like if your opponent is playing White Knights or Black Knights or Amazon Warriors in beta. Just having a way to remove a big butt is really good. Like, there's no hard removal in limited a lot. Like, I have Drowned, which is a hard removal spell, but I have Minor Explosion and Burning Hands, so those don't really deal with these 4/4s and 5/5s really well. I would have to use creatures to do that, and that's fine. I also have 1 Finwife in here because I'm thinking about the Kraken, and I don't know if I ended up cutting Finwife when I cut Kraken. That might have been an issue. So Finwife and Kraken should have been the Reckless Squires, looking back at this. Redbreast Robin, one of, is really cool. Maybe you can get away with 2. I really like 1, because if you do have it on turn 1, you can just fly it up. Just fly it up and just sit it on your opponent's avatar and just be really annoying. Also, it's great for ending the game, and you can throw it with Siege Giant, and Kraken, or Redbreast Robin is probably the only 1/1 I would play in this format. The Owl, the Ominous Owl, is, I don't know if it has like enough effect. Like, summoning your stuff on your opponent's site is good, but there's not a whole lot of like prison site pieces like Free City or Gnome Hollows to get past in limited. Looking at my sites, Forge, turn 1 Forge, create a Lance is great, just mana efficiency. You can also do that like off curve and drop a 3/3 on turn 4 with a Lance, which is really strong. Great Famine won me, I think, 2 of my games. I just plonked it right down in the middle and made it really hard for my opponent to play his minions correctly. I also have Bog in there. Bog, in my first game, saves me a turn of damage, and it allows me to trade nicely into one of my opponent's minions. I think it has a Lance, or had a Lance. I'm not entirely sure. But Turtle is really annoying in limited. Especially not in beta, because there's not violence running around like crazy. To remove that first instance of like shield from the turtles. So my idea about building this deck was kind of like value trading and playing big bodies. Like Puka's is really annoying to deal with. You can see the person across from me. Koi Nixie is a huge like get things out of the way card. I am also playing 1 Helpful Hob. I opened 2. Maybe there's a you probably should play both Hobs. I was just worried about drawing a Hob and not having anything to do with it. But there was one turn I got an attack for 8. Helpful Hob untapping and attacking again is very strong. You can also like set up some weird combat things of like attack. They go, well, I don't know if I want to block that. So they let it through, and then Hob untap it, attack their thing they didn't want to block with, and so they're kind of out the minion and the damage now. So Hobbit's very sneaky, kind of like instant thing they can't play around. It's like that secret information you can use to like swing the game in your favor. I don't think I'm playing Swamp Buffalo, but Swamp Buffalo is like the 1-mana 2/2s are nice curve fillers. So like they're not, you don't play those on 1, you play them on turn 4 or 5 if you have a 4-drop on 5, and then you have 1 more mana left over, so then you put 2 spells out, which is really strong. And I think going back to sites, I think I just did half and half just because I didn't want to think about it too much. And I was counting. I think I was pretty even on threshold, so it's just like, all right, half and half. Thinking about my deck, it performed very well. I just wish I had a 5/5 that wasn't a 6-drop, like a Amazon Warriors or maybe a Brown Bears. My packs had like no earth in them, no playable earth, which was interesting. You can see here I'm thumbing through my minions, my extras again. I saw another Lake of Fank. Maybe that needs to be in there. But I think I ended up with like 18 minions and 6 non-minion spells. And so here you can see my final counts. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 minions and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-minion cards. I have a Boil because I'm hoping to get a 2-for-1 with that guy, kind of like sneakily remove stuff. Burning Hands was great. Rick Squire should have been in for the Devulian Kraken and maybe a family. What else do I have in there? I got a Duel as just like in a pinch removal spell, and Minor Explosion because there's a lot of 3/3s running around, and just dealing 3 damage to a 3/3 with Lance and stealing the Lance is really strong. I was very happy with this list. I definitely should have tweaked it a little bit, but I don't play a lot of limited in Sorcery just because Constructed is kind of what we play at the shop and what we play on TTS. All right, and here is not game 1, but one of my most interesting games where I felt like made good decisions, attacked well, used good removal spells, was very mindful about my decisions. A few things I didn't do in this event, and I forgot to do a couple times before the game started, was Spellslinger draws 4, 4 spells, but that's neither here nor there. I have a Ghost Ship, a Siege Giant, just a 3/3 body is good, and a Drowned. I send 2 sites back. I think they were just basic sites to try to just find non-basics. I get all water there. That's a little frustrating. I send Ghost Ship back because it's I don't know, like 6. Like it's a great card. It's just like it's going to take too long, and I want something to play immediately. I did get a Forge off my first spell for first sight for turn. Oh, I didn't send Ghost Ship back. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Also, Lookout. This was like my 3rd time playing against Lookout, and it was really frustrating. But Lookout is really good. Just like knowing information is very strong. And so get a spell of Minor Explosion off the top, so he doesn't know I have Minor Explosion. So like that is just like that secret information that can like blow out the turn. And here I'm like thinking, do I need to play up or over to the side? And Pond is really good, and Pond is a tower. Just play pawns, play more pawns. Get a Coral Reef Kelpie, and here I'm expecting him to play to 13, but I think he smells something in the water of like there's like, why would I play off to the side and then invite him to come in closer? So I don't know if that was the right call. I think I would have played up and just pressed my advantage, and so now I can pick up my Lance and this way trade with his Warhorse if he comes up. I forget what I scried. I don't remember. Now the Warhorse has Stealth, which is like a little scary. I have a Siege Giant in hand. I'm thinking about playing Siege Giant if I get another Fire, and I get a fire, and deserts are great. It gets all those 1/1s. So I probably should have played Siege Giant on my Coral Reef to move it up, but here I'm thinking I can move up and pick up the Lance and be even more annoying. Plays a land, and here he has a Sword and Shield and a Power of Flight to cycle and give it a flying. And it's like, ooh, that's a hard trade for me. Like, but now I'm thinking I have what do I have in hand? I think I have a Bog. Yep, I'm gonna bog that down to like stem the bleeding for a turn. I haven't been hit yet, but just that aggression. Kobolds, just playing a minion every turn, a new threat, and hopefully next turn I can take care of the Warhorse with the Coral Reef Kelpie. Bog says you are immobile until my next turn, so he can't move Warhorse right now. He has a Lance there, so that's a little like questionable. Of like, plays a 3/3, then I can't attack with my Coral Reef Kelpie, but I have a Minor Explosion. So here he has a Heat Ray to take care of my Kobolds, and that's fine. Getting rid of a card in his hand for a card on board, it's whatever. So here I move up with my Spellslinger, and I have Minor Explosion to take care of his thing to blocking, and then I get to trade profitably into the Warhorse and pick up his own Sword and Shield. Now I probably shouldn't have played what do you call it? Kobolds, but I like getting things out of my opponent's hand and just like resource trading. And now I'm hoping to carry the Sword and Shield to victory, which is my game plan here. So this first striking lethal guy is is a little concerning as well. Trying to think of how to deal with this. I don't remember what I ended up doing. I used my removal spell, Siege Giant, moved over through it. Or see here, I'm trying to like, how do I get this thing out of the danger zone of this first striking lethal? I don't want to throw my Siege Giant into it because that feels bad. He spent 2 mana to take care of my 4/4. So I moved over, dropped Sword and Shield, picked it up with my Avatar just so he can't remove my Siege Giant effectively. And I'm throwing a family out there as, I don't know, bait, but like I'm going to try to get rid of this Lance off of this lethal attacker is my goal here. So he shoots with the stealth minion and plays a Redbreast Robin. Redbreast Robin is great, like finishing fodder, if you can say it that way. And then so here is, so this is after I've replaced or put Reckless Squire in. So this is why Reckless Squire is very good. This 3 mana leaves behind a 1/1, but it allowed me to attack in and trade out. So now my Siege Giant is a 6/6. Just now, just going to start beating in with a 6/6, and then ask if anybody has any way to deal with it. So tap and draw a site. I think I was thinking about attacking the site for 1, but then it's a ranged minion, so he could tap and just hit me for 2 for free. And at least this way, he has to, his ranged minion will just now move. So just like that positioning, like forcing him to move does matter a little bit. Just not giving your opponent stuff for free is strong. So I get to attack for 6 and 7 and 8. And then I played a Ghost Ship finally. And so this is just now like I'm racing. He has a 2/2 on board. I have a 5/5, a 6/6, and a 1/1. I just have more stuff and more damage on board. If we look in the bottom left there, it looks like he's at 11 and I'm at 14. So here I just swing out, deal a lot, take him to door. And I think I have Burning Hands in hand. And so now I'm not like really sure what to play because I don't really I have kill in hand next turn. So it's just kind of, maybe I shouldn't have drowned. Yeah, and then I just pass just to see if, oh, I don't have kill in hand. So I think that's why I moved up. So now I have 3 attackers next turn. So he has to move up to get out of the way. And he has a Shatter Strike to Shatter Strike my Sword and Shield, I think. Or maybe he punched me. I don't remember specifically, but Tactical Move is a really good, strong card here, getting out of danger zone. But I think I would have Shatter Striked and got rid of the movement, but that's just like a hard thing to see when you're 45 minutes into a game. So Siege Giant moving and throwing stuff is not to be underestimated. It's like a blink on a minion. It is very, very, very good. More Siege Giants, more better. All right, and here in this game, I think this was my 3rd, 4th game of the Swiss rounds. This was against Wes, or Pizza Ma on the Discord. You'll see him running around in the Explorer series, making sure all that works. But I wanted to include this game because he was playing Magoo, and I know there's been a lot of conversation around the Magoo in Constructed, and I think Magoo in Limited is a totally fine card. You only get to spend, if you're lucky, you get 2 extra cards. And Spellslinger starts with 1, so it's not some busted card advantage machine. And so here he has Lookout, and honestly, this Amulet is really annoying. It takes away a lot of my kill spells. Amulet in Limited seems really strong. Turn 1, play it. Like, I know you have to like get a turn 1 play on turn 1, but it's good. Also, Turtles on 2 feels so much better than Turtles on 3. It's just having it out on curve is so good. Pawn, I wish I had like 2 more pawns in this deck. Pawns cannot be understated on how good they are. I don't think I had a 3-drop. Here he burrows, which was an interesting choice, and playing. I like this 4 arrangement on 12 and 13. It allows you to control what you defend better. If you like, you can spread out, and that works. But man, sometimes it's hard to defend everything, and like it funnels you right down the middle, and it's just, I don't know. I kind of like having a wall to block. And so here, that's why he burrowed. He burrowed so he didn't kill its bats. So when you could Burning Hands and attack. So that's why Turtles is really strong. That dealing with your opponent's Turtles and like it's not as free as like a violent attack with something else. So here he played up to 14, and playing against Magoo or playing against just kind of, I don't know, minion heavy decks, or like his 14th site is now no longer nearby him, and so he can't like really nicely defend it or remove things from it. He has to tap and move up, and so it's kind of like my site to attack. And here he has guards and has 3 spells in it in his library, so he can guards again, like move up and guards. And so now I'm just like, oh geez, I gotta clear this board of 1/1s. And now I did end up clearing the board pretty well, and all he has as aggressive 1/1s is the one on Lighthouse or Lookout. That was Lightning Strike or whatever it is. Deal with my 4/4. This is all fine. Now I have like a site on 14 to attack and just make it really hard for him to deal with my minions there. I don't know if that was intentional or just like looking back at this now is kind of like I didn't really pay attention to that, but right now looking at it, it makes a lot of sense. I tapped to play Spring River, and now I'm like thinking about, do I play it over to the left or back onto my Bog just to like keep that stream of minions going and attacking the well, and I was like, yep, just gonna keep doing that. He has the guard, so he can move up in guards again. But I have a lot of much bigger minions on board. And if he wants to spend his yard to deal with stuff, that's fine. So he has a big body here with Wyvern. Wyvern's great and limited. It's a little like questionable on like how I'm gonna deal with this. I don't remember. I think I ended up giving my Siege Giant a lance at one point. Reckless Squire, Siege Giant, lance, attack the site. Oh, I throw Reckless Squire up to attack one of his 1/1s, just to like get things off the board. And yeah, I think we were having a conversation of like, oh, because he has a Pebbles Paths. That's right. And Pebbles Paths only works in that aura. So if I play it back and then I can attack into the aura, I already have the charge and the attack is already triggering, so it still works. Like a Fank attacks and takes damage. He doesn't want to block that. He's already now at door. My Siege Giant with the lance attacks too, and you can't really block that nicely. It's just a really hard spot to be in. But this is to show Magoo is fine and limited. Like, I think he casts one of these cards from his yard at one point, and so that's an extra card. But Spellslinger already starts with an extra card, which is almost arguably better. I don't know. So he throws a bunch of 1/1s into my lethal guy, just kind of doing what he has to do. He takes care of my 3/3, and then the big Cyclops guy is a little scary. And now that amulet is really a pain, because I have Burning Hands in hand, and it doesn't work. I play Great Famine on top of him. I probably could have played it back on 13, 14, 8, and 9 to kind of make it even a little more annoying. But I was like, my Siege Giant is going to eventually be in the aura, and I don't really want to do that yet. And I tap to draw a sight. So I'm like, all right, I have to deal with him manually. So I think he then casts guards again. My magic spells won't win me the game here. So he's bought himself a couple turns. So yeah, here he casts guards again, which is now like a little frustrating. So here I think I got him with Joust, but Amulet says they can't be targeted. So even Joust doesn't work. It's like, dang it. So graciously enough, let me rewind that a little bit. So then I drowned his big guy. And so I was like, I have to attack him, and I can't. I think about playing the Viking, but the Viking won't get there in time. So now I'm going to do the Siege Giant thing again, move over, throw my Harassing Ruffians into Site 7 and attack with Ruffians. Ruffians is still my favorite minion out of this ordinary AL stuff. Just the free, quote-unquote free attack you get feels so strong. Give him Sword and Shield, give him Lance. Man, it is an annoying thing you can't block, and it's very good. I think I attacked a foot soldier just to like get things off the board, but yeah, here it is. I didn't want him to like do some shenanigans with a foot soldier or Burning Hands. All right, and then here in the finals game, we have our local Brandon Posey. He has Seer, and Seer in Limited is really good. You just burn through your list, find what you need. You have such a small spell book and sight book. You can do what you can go find. You can find a lot of your good pieces really well. You also can get bottom like a 2/2 family or something you don't need or what have you. Seer is very strong. And then the other opponent here was my opponent from the first game of the video. And I actually haven't seen this game. I know the outcome, but I don't know what has happened. So we'll go through this together. Looks like Brandon has Thankless Squire, which is interesting. Wall of Brambles and a Fade. Sends back 2, keeps a pond. Yeah, Thankless Squire is interesting. I know Brandon did say he had good luck with it. Like, playing... Oh, then he sends it back. That makes sense to me. Extinguish, getting rid of fire minions. Fire is very good and limited, so I can see Extinguish being good. I didn't see what his opponent mulligan, but playing a Wasteland and passing. And the crazy thing about Seer and Limited, with only 12 sites, if you do a full mulligan of sites and then draw 3, so you're halfway through, look at your first site and then your 7, you can burn through your entire site list really, really quickly. Oh, looks like that Brandon off the mulligan drew 3, and so probably, yeah, talking to his opponents like, hey, I have an extra site. I can redraw these sites and then remulligan if that's okay with you, which makes sense. Sorcery is a very be cool kind of game, and that was very gracious of his opponent. But man, I love Sorcery and the style of Sorcery of like of the competitiveness of it. Like, it is competitive, but everybody's like very chill about it, and it's a wonderful environment to be in. Yeah, so Drew, I think he got a Swindling Troop. Giving things stealth is really strong for that free attack. I think Brandon's deck kind of has a stealth sub-theme. When I played him, it was super frustrating trying to just stem the bleeding. Man, stealth is so good in Limited. And then Swiven Scout can be played anywhere. Or it's not Swiven Scout. Saracen Scout can be played anywhere. And kind of gets around that Wall of Brambles, which is really cute. He's got a Shelly Coat and Extinguish. So Extinguish might work. Is Extinguish only water sites? No, let's boil. I think Extinguish might work here. Yep. And Extinguishes... I don't know if I really... I like using that early. I think I might have played Swindler's Troop. But also... Because then it's just a 2-2 that... I don't know. Extinguish might have hit a bigger thing, is my thought there. And then so he has a Band of Thieves, and then there's back to this stealth thing where that stealth is just really hard to block effectively and deal with. I'm interested on why Brandon played back a site and played up to 7. I think would have been slightly better, because now your opponent is kind of like in your zone, but if you have nearby removal spells, that can be strong to bring them in a little bit. Shelly Coat takes 1 less damage, so you have to deal 3 damage to it to remove it. So yeah, there you go. He plays it back a little bit. Passes turn. Band of Thieves is going to get in for 3. The Fade and Swindler's Troop. The Swindler's Troop is, I think, Brandon's best minion. No, I think he has I don't think he has a lot of 4/4s in his list. And Brandon is also very frustrating when he builds decks. I think he has like 32 spells in his deck right now. It's like, oh my gosh. But that's just how he builds things. He's like, I don't even want to try to cut stuff, that's his own prerogative. So attacks for 3, gets in there he's down to 17. Oh, he must have power to flight and cycled at some point. Yeah, and then so now it's not looking great for Brandon because there's 3 minions looking at him. Warhorse already got in for 2 damage. Midnight Road has stealth. It's just like you kind of need a reset or board wipe at this point. Yeah, Brandon's kind of out of options at this moment. Right now, I'd be thinking about how can I stem the bleeding. So that Swindler's Troop can probably be played on Warhorse, and hope he doesn't have some kind of way to give it Lance. You just have to start figuring out how to block effectively and trade, even one for ones right now. You have to get the minions off your side of the board. Right now, this is kind of where you want to be as as the opponent, where you're applying the pressure. You had a double spell turn, and there's no really nice way unless somebody has a poison over or some crazy thing in um, from your sealed pool. So play a Frogman and a Swindler's Troop. Is a Frogman a 2/2? Yeah, a 2/2. So he's going to try to trade there and trade with the Band of Thieves. And so then you can hopefully deal with the Midnight Rogue with your Shelly Coat uh, and trade profitably there. So, but he has a Violent to thwart that plan, and looking not great. Yep. Trades makes sense. Midnight Road gets in for 2. So as the opponent here, um, it makes sense just to not even to offer the Midnight Road, but like understand that the 2 damage is worth more than the minion, and just keeping pressure. So Brandon's at 11, I think, is that what it says over there, and he hasn't been able to build a board presence. If you're trading minions, that's fine, and especially now with the Scorpions like blocking for the Midnight Road, like this is I guess not blocking because of with stealth. So even if he attacks and takes care of the Midnight Road, the Scorpions can eat it, um, and then still being attacking for 4 in the top and on the right side. Yeah, taking care of the Midnight Road, just trying to get things off the board, and if Brandon wants him to attack with the Scorpions, just to hopefully like clear that side of the board, and then he can focus on the Warhorse and Violent side. His opponent here, double spelling is even for 2/2s. Spreading your power across multiple bodies is very strong. Um, Sedge Crabs. So Sedge Crabs is an interesting one. I think I would play it on the Warhorse just so the Scorpion doesn't just eat it for free. I know it's only 1 mana, but like this Sedge Crab can block the Warhorse or block the second attack, and then in the next turn eat the next thing. Um, the Wall of Brambles was a little. I don't think Wall of Brambles is good enough to play just normally. Um, it kind of needs a little extra help, and you need some way to funnel things in. Oh, that was his site. Yeah, so you can attack over there. I mean, why did I don't like the Sedge Crabs on Varmint Warrens. That seems interesting. Plumed Pegasus in Limited is a wonderful card. It's great in Constructed. Plumed Pegasus is just a very efficient flyer. 3/3 for that flies is really good. So here has the Golden Harp. When I played Brandon, we played this wrong, but whatever. Life moves on. The Golden Harp can help deal with some like weird trades. So like a 3/3 attacking a 2/2, the 3/3 would still kill the 2/2. No, the Harp and Shellycoat are specifically really, really good. So damage is reduced to 2, and then Shellycoat reduces that damage once more to only 1 damage. So then the opponent attacks for a bunch. Brandon's at Death's Door. I don't think Brandon has a way out of this. I think he rescued back something. He can maybe move Seer over. Magic missiles. Eat. Yeah, okay. So he's taken care of 2 things. I'm not sure. He must have been out of mana or something on the Golden Harp turn, and had to take that back. Swindler's Troop. Then he has Blaze. Blaze plus an Airborne is a really good kill spell. But that was the championship. Congrats on winning. Oh, I should look that up. To Adam M. I know he's local to that area, so thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody who showed up and played. That was a wonderful time. I can't wait for more Explorer Series events. The next one is this Saturday, and man, I'm excited for Sorcery. The organized play announcement was really cool. Gen Con's coming up. Man, 2025 is going to be a great year. Second half of 2025 is going to be a great year. Thank you everybody. See you next time.